So a few days ago, I unleashed the breeding rummynose tetra video. I also put out a poll to everybody in the community. What do we breed next? And between the Green Neon Tetras, the Congo Tetras, and the Celestial Pearl Danios, the Green Neon Tetras blew the competition out of the water. Don't listen to that, my Congo Tetras. I will never leave you out of the water. And as we kind of saw with the Cardinals and the Neons, we knew that even though all three of these species are closely related, the Neons and the Cardinals didn't spawn the same way. So today it'd be pretty interesting to see what kind of things are required for the Green Neons to breed. And wow, that's a lot of algae on the glass. Let's go clean that real quick so you guys get a better look. Oh, my back. Holy crap, that hurts. Okay. We gotta switch positions. Hold on. So here are my Green Neon Tetras. You could tell that they're very less red compared to the Cardinal Tetras, which are all scared and kind of chilling in that corner over there. You can see the blend between the red and the blue is really, really prominent. And then with the Green Neons, they're kind of just chilling and by themselves up top. They're much smaller and they don't have as much red. I don't have any Neon Tetras by themselves in here, so it's just the Green Neons and the Cardinal Tetras, and then a bunch of staghorn algae that I'm gonna blur out. I promise I will take care of this like tomorrow. So today is special because it is raining. It's raining outside all day, every day. Well, maybe just today, but I gotta collect some rainwater because I have a hunch that the Green Neons are really gonna love breeding in rainwater. But first, we gotta clean some buckets. I've got 3 buckets, 1 little tub, and 2 of my mom's trash cans. Sorry, Mom, but gotta clean them all out, make sure there's no dust in them, and then we're gonna clean and collect all the rainwater over there because the goal is to collect water that has no hardness and is very, very soft. And we can't have any dirt inside these buckets when we collect them because that dirt's just gonna dissolve. All that salt and minerals are just gonna go right into the water column. And then there's no point in collecting any water. The weird things that I do for these fish. I mean, it's rainy, it's cold, I'm wet, and I'm having the time of my life. That's what she said. All right, the buckets are collecting water as we speak. And now it's just time to wait. So this is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. Who knew that waiting for rain to fill up a bucket is a lot slower than watching water boil? So not to fear though, I have a trick. I'm soaked, but I think I just discovered rainwater collecting and aqueduct creation.
3 hours later.
All right, y'all. Rain has stopped. The ground's still kind of wet. All the leaves are full of water, but in each of these buckets, we've got just a little bit of rainwater. All right, folks, we have about 1/3 of a gallon of rainwater saved from today. It's not a lot. There's not enough to breed tetras with, but it is clean, and I worked really, really darn hard for this water. We're gonna put it to some good use. All right, everyone, it is the next day, and because we don't have that much rainwater this time, instead of using a 10-gallon tank, I'm going to slim down to a 5-gallon tank. This is a cleaned out 5-gallon tank, fresh out of the laundry. I just cleaned it, so it should serve our purposes correctly. Green Neon Tetras are a little bit smaller than the Cardinals and the rummynose, so hopefully they will be fine because, as you saw before in the Neon Tetra breeding video, they actually bred in more of a shoebox-sized Tupperware container. I'm looking for a little bit more ideas and directions on where to take these breeding series. So if you guys want to comment down below in this video on what fish you would like to see bred next, and the most popular one is probably going to make it into the next video. All right, so we have the rainwater from last time going into the tank. So with all the rainwater in there, we have a little bit more than 1.5 inches just inside the tank. So I'm gonna have to fill it up with some more distilled water and some peat moss soaked water that I had used for the rummynose tetras. Look at that, one-handed. Look at these muscles. We've got some peat moss, soaked water. You can see all the tannins in there. Going in now. Guys, is iced tea just tannin water? Think about it. Think about it. All right, everyone, I'm going to show you the contraption outside because you guys won't be able to see it in that Blackwater tank very clearly. So on the top, we'll have some moss. So we'll set that aside for now so I can show you what this thing is. If you've watched my Neon Tetra video, you know exactly. We used the same thing before, exact same one actually. And outside is just a little crochet mesh on a hinge tied off using some fishing line. You guys can probably see it better on this side. So I've got 3 hinges tied up and it just allows it to go up and down for easy egg removal. Inside is just these 2 lead weights. Now the plastic tends to rise to the surface, so the egg weights will keep them down in the water. Now this entire contraption is closed off using this, what is this thing? A paper clip. I had a mind moment there, and essentially I just shove it into a hole that I've kind of drilled through on this side, and I'll just shove it as far deep down as it'll go, keep it flat, and that kind of just keeps everything and locks it in place. So that is our spawning setup. We're gonna put some moss on the top for them to scatter their eggs over. I'm gonna treat them like Cardinal tetras because the Cardinals and the Green Neon tetras have the same geographical range. So to me, it kind of makes sense that they might breed very similarly. Now, you are going to get that moss to float right up if you just throw it on like this. So the trick that I've been using is to use one of these lead plant weights and just put it over here, and then I'll just sink the entire thing into the setup. All right, everyone, so sorry for the glare, but the spawning setup is complete. It's really just 2 things. You've got the spawning container with the moss on top, everything is weighed down, and then also that heater in the back keeping everything pretty warm. The last thing to do is to seal off the top. Actually, no, we have to catch the actual fish because I haven't done that yet. So I'm really trying to catch those green neons over there. You got some cardinals and the green neons are kind of hiding. I know I have about 10, 11 green neons in here, so I think we're gonna use the double net method, try to scare some of them into the net here. Oh yeah, I got a nice skull from here. Hopefully some of our into the net, bro, let's go. Just kind of really knock them into that little container first. Ooh, they are not happy about that, huh? All stressed out too. All right, so I've got about 5 or 6 in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the spawning tank. And then when the rest are catchable, they're still kind of hiding in the back there. As soon as I can get them, I'm gonna go add them into the tank with the rest. So overall, I'll have about 10, 11 of these green neons inside the spawning tank.
So this is the completed breeding tank. This is the vision at the end of the first day. It's a very simple setup. We've got the spawning tank, we've got the heater, and a bare bottom tank for easy cleaning. I also have about 11 of the Green Neon Tetras in there. In this video, I don't talk as much about males versus females because we are doing a group spawn, so it doesn't matter as much. But as always, like every other Tetra we've bred, the males are much slimmer and smaller than the females, especially after conditioning. The females are very big and large and their bellies are round with eggs.
All right, everyone, a little bit of a time skip, but it's been about 5 to 6 days since I put them in here. You can see the facial hair has grown out, but today is the first day that I actually saw signs of breeding. So every time I would come down in the morning, check with just basically a flashlight, and then no sort of breeding whatsoever until today. So let me show you what I see. There's a bit of a glare, but again, this is the moss and the weight setup. It's been in here untouched As you can see, there's a lot more scum on the bottom here, but we're gonna remove that in just a second so I can show you the eggs, because I don't think that you guys can actually see that. Inside, we still have the green neons. I'm gonna have to scare them out. There they are. And yeah, every day I've just been feeding green neons the baby brine shrimp that I've been hatching out. It's live baby brine. Give them some nice and good conditioning food. And then I apologize again for the glare. You can see my Mickey Mouse shirt. This is one of those things that you need to be super duper careful, because if you're not careful, as you lift up that spawning container, all that water is gonna rush out and it's gonna push the eggs out. So I really gotta like focus. I'm using 2 of these pincettes used for planting plants, and I'm just gonna gently lift this up. Here we are. Spawning container, and we're good. Let's go take a look at it. So a lot of times when you guys do see the unfertilized eggs, it doesn't necessarily mean that you had a failed spawn. It just means that your fish have spawned and some of the eggs aren't fertilized. You know, look at this one right here. There is a unfertilized egg right here where I'm pointing at, that white dot. But if you look a little bit to the left, you'll see this clear one right there, and that is actually a fertilized egg that is viable and that was newly laid today. So yes, you might see some white dots, and a lot of times that could be a good indicator of some fertilized eggs. You see another unfertilized eggs and an egg in the middle of the screen here, right there, that I'm pointing at. But looking around, you're gonna see a lot more fertilized eggs.
And as we go through the next few shots of the baby Green Neon Tetras, let's talk about some of the key lessons that I've learned that's also going to help you if you decide to do this breeding project. The first is that the Green Neon Tetra is incredibly shy, way more so than the Cardinals and the rummynose Tetras. Now there are a couple more factors that contribute to them breeding after almost a week in the breeding container, but the majority is that they need to feel safe and comfortable, and we can solve that by using group breeding and also to kind of create almost a permanent blackwater breeding tank for them and feeding them while they are in the breeding containers. As I said before, it took almost a week before I started seeing eggs, and so if you're trying to do this yourself, don't lose patience, keep them in there. Which brings us to the next point. Feeding live baby brine shrimp will increase your yield of eggs. Once they do start breeding, they can spawn every day, so it's important to feed them that live baby brine shrimp a good quality food for them to start storing up the energy needed to spawn continuously. Lastly, the fry needs to be raised in the soft acidic water too. Do not transfer them to quote-unquote normal tank water parameters, as they will die. The fry are too small, and so they need to be fed infusoria for the first 1 week to 2 weeks before you can wean them onto baby brine shrimp. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.